On 24th February 2022, Russia attacked Ukraine on several fronts, beginning a major invasion. Ukraine's president declared martial law, vowing stiff resistance as Western powers condemned Moscow's actions. Crisis Group will be covering this crisis in depth as it develops. The visual explainer below focused not on the full-scale escalation that began on 24th February, but on fighting in the Donbas region of eastern Ukraine that began in 2014. This provides crucial background for understanding what is happening today. The armed conflict in eastern Ukraine started in 2014. Between then and early 2022, it had already killed over 14,000 people. Over the course of 8 years, Ukrainian government forces fought Russian-backed separatists for control over much of the two heavily industrialized regions of Donetsk and Luhansk, also known as Donbas. Fierce battles in 2014 to 2015 ended with one-third of the region's territory. Its most urbanized part occupied by two Russian proxy satellites, the self-described Donetsk and Luhansk People Republics. Between September 2014 and February 2015, Russia, Ukraine, France and Germany signed several iterations of so-called Minsk Agreement, which eventually stopped the forward movement of troops and reduced fighting significantly. But the agreements were never implemented, and the fighting transformed into a trench war, with roughly 70,000 troops facing off along a 420-kilometer long front line cutting through densely populated areas. The war ruined the area's economy and heavy industries, forced millions of relocate, and turned the conflict zone into one of the world's most mine-contaminated areas. Our videos, you can see the maps centered on the combat zone, the Donetsk and Luhansk regions divided along community boundaries. Both maps illustrate how the war's impact stretches far beyond military positions. Some months saw heavier fighting and more deaths and injuries than others. Geographically, casualties tended to be concentrated where the sites were especially close to key infrastructure to each other or both. You can hover over the heat map and click on individual communities to get a sense of how casualties fluctuated over time and where they occurred most often. Civilian casualty data in the heat map includes those killed and injured by live fire in artillery or mortar strikes, or by bullet wounds from rifles or heavy machine guns. It also includes victims of landmines, of explosive remnants of war, as well as those who died of natural causes queuing at checkpoints to cross from Ukrainian government-controlled territory. The intensity of the fighting differs from month to month. Our way to measure it is to rely on the numbers of explosions recorded by the Special Monitoring Mission of the Organization for Security and Cooperation in Europe on a daily basis. The SMM was the only international observer mission allowed to collect information from all sides, and its data, while incomplete, remains the best available. To illustrate the correlation between diplomatic efforts and the dynamics of warfare, I provide the dates, ceasefire recommendations overlaid on this chart, showing the rise and decline of explosions over time. The number of reported explosions often decreased after ceasefires, only to rise again in the absence of the durable settlement. In 2021 to 2022, two Russian military buildups along the Ukraine border foreshadowed on escalation, one in March and April 2021 and a second one in December 2021 through February 2022. Both these phases also saw an increase in reports that the OSCE missions were denied access to the war zone by armed formations. See you in the next video. Thank you very much.